What's up, everyone? This is the Next Take Podcast, episode 142 with Mikel and
Tanyka.
where we have conversations on different topics. So, on today's episode, we're going to be doing a triple topic episode, and Tanyka will provide us with, once again, the topics.
So, we're going to be talking about a teen that was arrested in a Bitcoin heist. A woman was charged for providing misinformation. A little more details on that, obviously.
Mhm.
And a lawyer explains limits of self-defense. I thought this was kind of like an interesting topic to kind of talk about because, I think it's informative.
Mhm.
Anyways,
Okay.
what are we talking about? Okay.
All
So the
right.
first
Well,
topic, a Canadian teen has been sentenced for a $37 million Bitcoin heist and the hacking of several X accounts or Twitter, whatever. This
mhm,
follows on-chain sleuth Zach XBT's calls for stricter penalties against SIM swapping and social engineering fraudsters.
mhm,
So Zach XBT revealed via a July 29th Twitter post that
mhm,
Cameron Redman had been convicted in order to pay compensation following his involvement in a $37 million Bitcoin theft and a related X-hacking case that the investigator had uncovered.
mhm,
Court documents show that Redman has been sentenced to 12 months and 1 day, followed by a 3-year supervised release term for each count, with all sentences to be served concurrently.
mhm,
He has also been ordered to pay a $400 special assessment, $248,257.07 in restitution, and a $60,000 fine. So
well,
quite a bit there.
So this is a Bitcoin scam, basically.
Well, yes, that's what a heist would be. If
Uh-huh.
it's most likely it coincides with a scam.
Mhm.
That would explain why they're also paying restitution.
So who was involved? Like, were people like involved into this, or were
Well,
it's
we
just
still
a
have more to read, so maybe that will explain it. But
okay? Go ahead.
I don't know if other people were caught and then convicted.
Mhm,
This person, this teenager,
mhm,
could have been like the ringleader of this
mhm,
heist. We don't know yet. Um, on February 22nd, 2020, the Canadian teenager used a SIM swap attack to take control of crypto investor Josh Jones's mobile number,
mhm.
allowing him to bypass two-factor authentication and access his wallets. So that also would most likely mean your phone wallet. So that makes you think. Um,
It, it, um, yes and no at the same time with your phone wallet. So not, it's a different type of wallet. So I do have a little bit of crypto, little bit, just 1%. It's a crypto wallet.
okay,
It's a different, it's a different wallet, not the
okay,
digital wallet that's on your. Yeah, go ahead.
okay, got it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, he then stole 1,547 Bitcoin and 60,000 Bitcoin cash,
Uh-huh.
valued at around $37 million at the time.
Yeah.
Following the theft, Redmond began laundering the stolen assets through hundreds of small transactions. These tokens were eventually funneled through centralized exchanges in an attempt to hide the trail. The perpetrator was later linked to phishing scams and the hacking of several NFT profiles on Twitter.
Yeah.
According to Zach XBT, in June 2022, Redmond offered access to an internal X panel for sale on the platform Swapped. So that's
Mhm,
SWAPD. No E there.
mhm, mhm,
This was then sold for 250 ETH, so I'm not
mhm.
sure exactly what that is, and led to the compromise of over 10 accounts and the theft of millions through phishing scams.
Hmm.
The detective added that the Canadian youth initially used fake identity documents swapped before submitting his real information, withdrew the sale proceeds through Tornado Cash, and then deposited the funds into a stake account. On-chain data linked the wallet he used to the compromised X accounts. The
Hmm.
investigation identified victims including Bipple, DK, Zenka, nouns Deo or Dao,
Hmm.
and Journey Club. That's JRNY, Journey Club.
Yeah.
The suspect was formally charged on November 17th, 2021 by Hamilton Police in Ontario. Authorities recovered $5.4 million in crypto, but the remaining $31.5 million is still missing. At the time of his arrest, Redmond was still legally underage, which meant his name remained sealed and his photo was not released.
Hmm.
Zach XBT has previously highlighted how this kind of secrecy is part of the problem.
Hmm.
Uh, I disagree there. We have laws in place for a reason. All
Yeah.
minors
Hmm.
are left, um, are usually not put out there for people to see. That's just how this is, whether it's murder, whether it's something
Yeah.
like this, it
Yeah.
does not matter. That is our laws.
Yeah.
And I don't
Yeah.
think that should ever change.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, because I mean, again, as a law firm that deals with minors, in our court cases and whatnot, that's in place for a reason to protect the minors.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
disagree with that
Yeah.
1,000%. But Al will continue what he has to say here,
Hmm. Hmm.
saying the convicted criminal's identity should have been revealed earlier on to prevent further unlawful conduct. Again, as I've mentioned, I disagree.
Hmm.
Such cases are on the rise, with research from KeepNet Labs showing a 1,055% increase in SIM swap incidents in the UK in 2024.
Hmm.
I think this is Elliptic's State of
Hmm.
Crypto Scams 2025 analysis also
Hmm.
highlighted phishing as a key method used by cyber criminals like North Korea's Lazarus.
Hmm.
Oh, that's actually a thing. Okay. When attackers
Yep.
increasingly automated campaigns using AI tools. Meanwhile, Zach XBT previously reported that between November and December last year, a single hacker breached over 15 X accounts, stealing more than $500,000. Canadians have,
Hmm.
I think we're moving on. So that's basically the end of that one. So, like, again,
So, has your law firm ever uh been around any type of like crypto scams, anything like that, or
no, it's not really what we do.
uh-huh,
Um,
or any? Go ahead.
not that I know of, because again, we're
Uh,
mainly personal injury. Um,
Personally, okay,
Personal
right,
injury meaning like tort, meaning
right, yeah,
motor vehicle accidents, medical
yeah,
dental mal as well,
yeah,
like stuff like that.
mm-hmm,
Um, like obviously we have some more like niche type stuff that we'll do.
right,
Like
right.
we've done sexual assault type stuff as
Oh
well.
yeah, yeah,
So, but in a litigation sense.
mm-hmm, hmm,
So yeah, that's kind of more what we handle.
right,
Something like this would be considered a criminal case, which we're not a criminal law firm.
right, okay,
So yeah, I mean, I think we're still like getting ourselves like
I,
used to
mm-hmm,
even handling stuff like marijuana type cases and stuff like that.
uh-huh,
Like
uh-huh,
that's just something that we haven't even gotten ourselves
yeah.
used to even doing that. So
I,
something like this,
I
that's
also,
just not our
yeah,
wheelhouse.
I also do think that Canada's a little bit behind with when it comes to like crypto regulations as well. Like we only
We're
have
behind
like
on a lot of
five.
things in terms
Yeah,
of
yeah, I would say so.
regulation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like yeah. So like hopefully the Canadian government over the years can improve on that. Hopefully it's on this year's budget too. So like, but like yeah, like we only have like the traditional banks don't even like they don't even have any like any um in like any I would say ingrid in not ingrid but like oh my god. I'm looking for the word and I can't find it in my head.
I
Uh,
think I think the thing with Bitcoin slash crypto
uh-huh.
is as we all kind of know, it had this huge burst at one
Hmm.
point where
Hmm.
it was profitable
Yeah.
and all of that. And obviously, like people are still in the Bitcoin world. And I mean, I don't know fully how this all works, but I know like you have to like, I don't know if the right term is farming or whatever the hell, but
Uh,
I think
Mining.
like mining, that's it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think that A, I don't think the majority of people fully understand Bitcoin and crypto clearly.
No.
And then I also don't think the government is going to waste their time with regulating
Oh no.
Bitcoin and
Oh no.
crypto
Oh no.
either.
There's it's one of their things they're looking into. If
Yeah, but
they're like,
is there a reason to do it? Because I feel like it's a very small percentage of people who are even putting their stakes into Bitcoin or crypto or whatever.
there's a lot of no, there's quite a bit of Canadians because like there are a few online banks. There's well simple if you know that
No, I
one.
know that there are. I understand that
Yeah,
they
yeah,
are,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's not many. And that's why I'm wondering if the banks that offer it or
Uh-huh.
even like other forums that offer it,
Hmm.
um, if there's not many of those, then I don't see how there's many Canadians in comparison to the ones that don't. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the
Right.
statistic. I don't think there is a huge percentage of Canadians that are going into or getting their hands on Bitcoin or crypto in comparison to the ones that aren't. So that's what I'm saying. Like, is it
Hmm.
even worth it for it to? I mean, yes, I do think there should be some form of regulation,
Hmm.
but I I just don't know what that's going to look like if like if it's even beneficial, by the time they decide to do that. Because again, like it's doesn't have the same pull that I think it did
Hmm.
initially when it first, obviously we'd hear about it all the time, crypto, Bitcoin, you'd hear about it all the
Hmm.
time.
Hmm.
Whereas I feel like, I don't know, I just think like there are other things
I
that
know.
maybe needs
Uh,
attention than
I
Bitcoin and
know.
crypto
I
right
know.
now.
I know other things need attention. I don't, but like if they have a personal finance department that needs to be focused on, that needs to be regulated.
Mm.
That's one thing that needs to be regulated more. I know it's a little bit regulated, a little bit more, but it needs to be like more regulated in terms of that. But yeah, there's obviously that there's other things they need to focus on, but they do have a like when it comes to like the budget of like the yearly budget they do focus on like education, healthcare, uh, what else? What I'm
No, I
missing?
know they do.
Transition, etc. Like,
No,
but
I know they
personal
do.
finance is in there as well.
No,
So
I
like,
know they do,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
I'm saying like stuff like healthcare.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that, stuff like that, and stuff like, the other things you've mentioned. Yes, there might be focus on those things, but there
Hmm.
is not enough focus on those
Hmm.
things. I've ranted on this podcast before.
Hmm.
The healthcare, especially in Ontario, is horrific. I
Yeah.
think it is getting a bit better,
Hmm.
but generally it is still pretty horrific. And I think that's what needs the focus,
Yeah.
especially not even just with the healthcare and what that is provided
Yeah. Yeah.
to
Yeah.
citizens, but also for people who wish to be employed in the healthcare
Yeah.
sector. There's so much that needs to be done in that alone
Yeah.
that I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Bitcoin and
Yeah.
crypto seems to be low on the totem pole.
I know.
As
I know.
for me as a citizen,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
if you're gonna waste time on that, that actually pisses me off
Yeah, I know.
because, like,
But
there's other things that you're not focusing on, but you're gonna focus on that.
yeah.
That's
Yeah. Yeah.
ridiculous to me.
I understand that. I'm just saying that I think the government focuses on like everything, like not just like just those main things I just named, but yeah, they should focus on everything that that should improve Canada as a whole. I do agree with that.
Mhm.
But yeah, when it comes to that, I'm just saying that like that should be further regulated because like I understand like I did the research on Canadians who are into crypto and it's been reported as in 2024, 10% of Canadians are into crypto. Uh and
Numbers not very
per
high.
yeah, it's not very high. But with a high rate among younger demographic, practically
Absolutely.
Gen Z,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
26% ownership compared to the older
Yeah,
generation.
yeah, yeah. No, I
So
understand
yeah,
that.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
not
So
surprising at all.
yeah, yeah,
But that again, that just answered my question though. Like
yeah,
that's only 10%
yeah,
of the
yeah,
Canadians
yeah,
in
yeah, yeah, yeah,
2024. That is
yeah,
not that much.
yeah.
And that's why I'm saying like that. If I was in parliament, that is low on the totem pole. Sure, it needs regulation, but I think don't expect that to happen
Mm-hmm,
anytime soon
mm-hmm,
because like that percentage
mm-hmm,
is so freaking low. And like to do that for really just that 10%, and maybe over time, yeah, that's going to grow. And then
mm-hmm.
maybe that growth can make
Yeah,
that demand come into place. But 10% in 2024,
yeah.
and the demographic is mainly younger people, that's not enough to put like focus on that right now. Maybe over time, like I said, but like right now, again, as a
Mm-hmm,
citizen,
mm-hmm.
when I know there's so many other things I need to be focused upon, I would be so upset if that's what they're focusing on right now
They're
with
not like
10%.
they're not zero in and just like that won't be their number one thing. And
No, I
there's that.
know.
But it like if it like I said, if the personal finance department in the budget and it says like we need to improve on the TF obviously the TFSA is gonna like they're gonna increase that. They do that
Mm,
like every single year.
mhm,
Um and then the RSP, etc., all that stuff,
mhm,
that's gonna be increased.
mhm.
But if they need to like, say something that we need to regulate this and that, that's gonna be part of the personal finance. But yeah, obviously every other thing. I wouldn't worry because the government spends probably spending more money on other things other than that. So
Well,
don't
I
don't
hope
yeah.
so.
No, 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 no. Because
You
I
know,
in Mark Carney's book, he wants to put more regulation towards cryptocurrency. Um, if you guys read Mark Carney's book, I think it's value. His book is called. Let me see. Hold on. Just give me a second. Uh, do 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 do. Huh. Values building a better world for all. So that's his book, and it does have something that he wants to regulate crypto a little more, but like yeah, that's further down in the future, and he wants to grow it in the down the future. So like I'm just saying that's not the government's number one focus. I like you said, there's other things that the governments are worried about, like the trade deals, etc., which he's doing right now, basically going in other countries, making trade deals with the UK, Germany, etc. So, yeah. So, um, that's all I have to say towards that. But yeah,
yeah.
is that all? Is that all for the article, or
Yeah, that's it
there?
for that one.
Okay. I have something.
Okay.
So, do you practice yoga, uh, Tanika?
I have.
We have.
Mhm.
Do you think who do you think out of the genders does it more? Male
Women.
or
100% women.
okay, okay, okay. All right. So I do have research that, you know, from each country that does practice yoga.
Okay.
And I
India's
thought,
gonna be a toss-up.
huh?
I feel like that's gonna be a little bit more equal for India.
For
If
India?
we talk India, yeah. That's gonna
Yeah,
be a hell of a
India,
lot more equal.
India is in the top in
100% because it
terms of
derives from
yeah.
India.
But wait a second.
Okay.
That's only for the males, though.
Hmm?
So India, for male population practicing yoga, 22%.
Okay.
USA, 12%. The UK, 9%. South Korea, 7%. Spain, I'm surprised that Spain is that low. Spain, 7%.
Why
Germany,
are you
6%.
surprised?
I think they're a little bit more up there. I think
Why?
they're, I think more males, I think more males would practice like yoga in Spain. But
Why? Why Spain is
I
why
don't
I'm
know.
asking
Like,
you.
I don't know. I just feel like that's the type of country that would probably, um, I feel like that's like a healthier. They like to eat healthier and etc. Like,
Yoga is
yeah,
separate from eating, though.
I don't know, but like that's it's more spiritual. It's an exercise, isn't it? Yoga
It,
is like a
okay.
spiritual exercise.
Yes, it's an exercise. It's a form of exercise, and
Yeah,
yes, it is healthy.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
health. It's not even so much about being healthy. It's just like
Hmm.
different things for your body. Yoga is perfect for.
Right, right.
So that's why, like, I don't know why you think that the men should be higher. I'm not
Yeah, a
shocked
little bit,
by.
not a
No,
little
I don't know.
bit,
I'm
a
just
little
saying.
bit, a little bit.
I'm just questioning it because I'm like,
Oh, okay, okay.
honestly, for me, any country outside of India, I'm not going to be shocked by that number. I'm actually shocked the number is only 22% in India for
Yeah,
men
22%.
because, like, it seems like in India,
Hmm.
I mean, I could be 100% wrong here, but yoga does derive from India.
Right, right.
So I feel like,
And for only,
a
yeah,
little more willing. I think men would be a little more willing
mhm,
to do
mhm,
it in India.
right.
But every other country for me, it's not going to be a surprise because
Mhm.
I feel like men think that yoga is a girly
Yeah,
exercise.
there
So yeah,
you can see that it's lower than the total poll.
oh,
Like
100%
a
it is.
lot of like 7, 6, and
Like when
France is 5%, and China is 4%, and
I've gone to
uh-huh,
yoga classes,
uh-huh.
that's why I said like 100% women is more the demographic. Because when you go
Mm,
in there, it's like you may see two or three men in a
right,
yoga class, and that's it.
right, yeah, yeah.
So
And Canada's not even on the. It's
that's
not. It's not.
surprising to me, actually. They're not
Yeah,
even on the
I think
list.
it's for the males 2%. Like I'm guessing
Well,
2%,
yeah, yeah.
but um, I asked AI on that, but I'm going to do that research after when I'm done.
Hmm.
So for female population, you're gonna be surprised at this. It's
Hmm.
not India for number one.
Okay,
It's South Korea, 43%.
that's it's not fully surprising. And the reason why, sorry guys, I'm gonna get technical here. I'm gonna get religious here a little bit.
Uh-huh.
It's not surprising to me because Buddhism is pretty
Mm,
prevalent in
right,
most Asian countries.
right.
Um, but anyone who knows the history of Buddhism
Hmm.
knows it started by a man who was Hindu. He
Right.
was looking for something a little bit more. He was from India.
Hmm.
And along his journey, he came up with Buddhism.
Hmm.
But it's more of like the Koreans, Chinese, like that kind of Asian, not Indian Asian. I don't know. I
Hmm.
can't remember if they're considered East Asian.
Hmm.
They um they are a little bit more prevalent with Buddhism than India is. So I feel like yoga kind of coincides with Buddhism in terms of the spirituality of it. Because I feel
Right.
like Buddhism, yes, it's a religion, but it's so spiritual. Like,
Mm,
that's why I'm not surprised
right.
necessarily about that.
I think they do a lot due to yeah. I do agree with that 100%. So India and Spain. This is why I say Spain.
Hmm.
They're both 31% in terms of female population practicing
Okay.
yoga. So UK 30%,
Hmm.
USA 27%, China 26%,
Hmm.
Germany 25%, and France 21%.
Hmm.
So yeah, I did I do a Canadian? Let me see.
No,
The
because I
top,
guess we're not on either list, but
yeah, we're not on our list. So I did ask. So according to recent surveys, about 21% of Canadian adults
mm,
practice yoga regularly.
mm,
Specifically, gender breakdown for Canada aren't detailed. Sources from sources like Statista, but global trends, sorry, but global trends shows 72% female and 28% male, may be similar in Canada. Sources from madeinca.ca, exercise.com. This data is from 2024 and 2025. So,
hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like yoga. I mean, yoga is great. Yoga's hard.
Hmm.
Yoga is tough. Um, but I feel like yoga, especially hot yoga, was has always kind of been on the craze since
Hmm.
Bikram. Ugh, that guy.
Hmm.
Um, God, I should do an episode on Bikram. Anyways, Bikram yoga is what's kind of started the whole hot yoga situation. Um,
Hmm.
and I feel like there really was this surge of hot yoga
Right.
during like the early 2000s into like
Hmm.
the 2010s.
Hmm.
So I feel like a lot of people were going and doing yoga. Like no one does regular yoga anymore. Boring.
No,
We do hot yoga
I think,
or
yeah.
or like you go to Good Life, you had different types of yogas that were
Mhm.
offered. You had hot yoga, you had power yoga. But either way, it was still in a warm climate. But
Do people do, I see people do yogas in the saunas. Like, just,
yeah,
they just
yeah,
sit.
because they want the hot yoga experience.
Uh-huh.
But
Uh-huh.
like if you were to go to like hot yoga,
Uh-huh.
um, especially like a Good Life or something like that,
Right.
you have to pay extra to do the hot yoga, like traditional hot yoga. And it's like 38 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
You have to pay extra to do that. Power
Mm-hmm.
yoga through Good Life, I think it was 32 degrees, but it was offered in just like the regular thing. Like you didn't have to pay extra to do the power yoga. Um, but power yoga is exactly what it sounds like. It's a little faster with the movements and then you're in the heat as well. But I feel like what really has become a very popular thing,
Right.
which kind of has yoga elements to it,
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm.
Pilates. I feel like Pilates has really had this resurgence, and
Right.
Pilates is so good for you, even more so, in my opinion, than yoga.
What's the difference between yoga and Pilates?
So with Pilates, it's more about focusing on your core
Mm.
and getting your strength and the power from those core type exercises.
Right.
Yoga was like I don't know who created yoga, but the
Mm-hmm.
person who created Pilates, I can't remember his name except for something Pilates, but he had like an injury or something
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and he created this type of exercise in
Mm-hmm.
order to help with that particular injury that he had because
Right.
yoga I think he found too difficult, so he found this other solution
Mm-hmm.
that married the two together.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been I've done Pilates since I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Um and yeah, like we did Pilates and dance class or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done Pilates since then, and I realized as an adult, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh, I really like Pil" and I do like Pilates. I think Pilates is
Mm-hmm.
incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, as a 30-something-year-old, I'm like, "Ooh, Pilates is hard.
Mm-hmm.
Shit." But
Yeah. Yeah.
for me, I've been through the all the different types of things for exercises because I can get bored pretty quickly, and I need to keep that attention span that makes me want to come back and do more.
Mm-hmm.
I've done Good Life. I did this other thing called Class Easy Pass, which was You can get passes to different classes.
Mhm.
Um, but I did that all before COVID, and then
Mhm.
after COVID, it was
Mhm.
Peloton, and Peloton you can get yoga and stuff like that. But I think
Mhm.
Peloton has kind of fallen off in the last little bit.
Right.
And I got a little bored of it too.
Mhm.
And now I'm doing this other thing, which if anyone has Facebook, you
Mhm.
may potentially see these ads. It's called Naughty Girl Fitness.
Mhm.
And I started getting into that, and there's different types of things that you can do there. But I found like that's captured
Mhm.
me because I prefer to kind of do like dances and that kind of thing. So
Right.
that's kind of more what I've been into. But every so often, you do a yoga type pose, and um, yoga, I feel like, is incorporated in many workouts, especially the
Yeah.
cool downs.
Yeah.
Um, it's always incorporated, whether it's child's pose or
Mhm.
cobra or
Mhm.
cow. I think it's cow and cat or whatever. But
Mhm.
which kind of stretches out the back. It's downward dog. Those
Yeah.
are. It's always going to be incorporated. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of the main, like one of the like most modern popular exercises.
it's not
I
modern.
like like it's like the modern versions of it. Like, isn't there
It's
like
not. No,
isn't there like old
no,
exercise?
no. Yoga is yoga.
Uh-huh.
Yoga doesn't change. Like you might come up with
Dif
types of
Different
yogas
types.
to make
Yeah,
it
that's what I
more,
meant. Yeah.
but it still incorporates the yoga poses
Mhm.
that have always been there. Yoga is
Mhm.
one of the oldest forms of exercise. It's not a modern thing. It's just the different type. Not so much types. That's the wrong word I want to use. The different ways of doing it. Like I've just mentioned Bikram or hot yoga or that kind of thing. That types of yoga
Mhm.
is
Mhm.
more modern, but you're
Yeah.
still doing the traditional yoga poses. That doesn't change. It just changes how
Mm.
you do them
Okay,
or
that's
in the
like
environment you're doing them. But it doesn't change.
but has the
Yoga is the oldest form of exercise.
true. But like has the population of yoga like, increased? But well, based on this, like over the years, like has it like increased of people wanting to do it over the years,
Yeah,
I guess.
that doesn't mean that yoga is changing though. It just
Yeah.
means that people are interested in doing it. That's it.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Alright. I always thought like there was different like types of yoga, like, like,
There's different
modern.
ways of there's
Yeah, I
different
thought it was like modern
ways
version.
of doing them,
Yeah.
but it's
Mhm.
not like the poses themselves are
Mm.
changing.
Okay.
You're still doing the chair, you're still doing the
Right.
warrior. Those are
Right.
all old forms of yoga.
Right.
That's never changed.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah, like I've
interesting.
been doing yoga since I was a kid
Mhm.
because my mom did yoga
Mhm.
when I was a kid and I would do
Uh-huh.
them with her.
Mhm.
The poses have never changed. And that's we're
Mm.
talking 30 so years.
Mhm.
And those poses have never changed. Do you look at Bikram back in the 80s? They're
Mhm.
all the same poses. It's
Mm.
just, he
Uh,
created hot
okay.
yoga, quote unquote.
Oh, yeah, okay. Alright. I thought, yeah. I thought
Yeah.
there was different. Okay.
Yeah.
My bad, guys. My bad for the misinformation. Uh,
It's not so much
well,
misinformation you
not
don't know because
misinformation.
you haven't done
Yeah, yeah,
yoga
yeah.
before. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
that's true. That's true. That's true. So yeah, that's the reports. These reports comes from source from, surveys, etc. I did do a little one mistake too when I said 72 females and 28 males.
Mhm.
They meant to say practitioners. So I don't know. Can you explain? Can you explain what's the difference between like people who are those like people who just practice it, or it's just basically those are like professionals?
Probably people who practice it. The people
Okay.
who you consider like yogis, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So yeah. So yeah. That's the that's it. Um. that I have for this, and yeah, I thought it was interesting. I thought it was cool. Uh, next time I'm gonna do this, it's gonna be based on chocolate. So stay tuned for that
Chocolate.
one. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Interesting. I'm real
yeah,
curious where that's gonna go.
yeah. All right. Well,
Um, but let's go on to the next one. So this
yep.
is in terms of self-defense. I think this
Mm,
is pretty informative for people, especially in Canada, because the rules can be slightly different
mm,
here than in other countries in terms of what's considered self-defense. But
mm,
Canadians have the right to defend themselves during a home invasion, but those rights are not unlimited, says a Toronto-based criminal attorney. Lawyer Kim, I think it's Strofield, says many people
mm,
misunderstand how Canada's laws works when it comes to self-defense and use of force. Because trust me, there are limits to self-defense. But she says, quote, "You can do anything that's reasonable in the circumstances, not anything you want. And that is important. I don't know if it's going to be here, but I'll say it on the top. For
mm,
example, if someone is coming at you with their hands to hurt you, you then can't take a gun and shoot them. You have to match the force with the force that's being given to you. Because
mhm.
if you decide to shoot the person and then you're shooting them once, twice, maybe three times, that is no longer self defense. I'm just going to put that out
Yes,
there.
I seen there's a clip out with a man, um, in an apartment that was basically talking to another man, and then the wife was just trying to, like, pull the other man away, but the guy took out his gun, shoot the guy that was in front of him, and the guy was crawling towards the door. Actually, before that, uh, the uh, the wife let go of the husband, so she went to the door. Then the guy pulled out a gun and shoot the husband, and then the husband went crawling to the door, and then the son come out of nowhere, and then the guy shot the son,
Oh my
basically.
God.
Yeah, yeah, he was on his spree, and then he went back and shot the husband again, twice, to
So what
kill
was he
him.
trying to claim? Let's claim this was self-defense?
Yeah, self-defense.
That's not self-defense.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is that people will use the self-defense
Mhm.
defense
Yeah.
when it's very freaking clear
Mhm.
you are just a murderous.
Yeah.
And it drives me nuts. Like, I literally, it's actually a case that I will talk about in the future because I think it's really important to shed light on domestic
Mhm.
violence type situations. And I've heard the story now twice on other podcasts. So that's why I'm
Mhm.
like, I think I want to talk about this. I think it's important to talk about, but without giving too much away, there
Mhm.
it was a relationship type situation. And let's just say he does kill her and he tried to claim self-defense. And it's like, wait a minute. And trust me, I'm not even giving everything here because this goes deeper. And it's like, everything that we know, how in the hell can you claim this as self-defense?
think
And that's
I
what
think
happens. These
I
psychopaths try that.
I think people I think some people who hold a gun, um, lose that thought of what self-defense means.
No,
Uh,
no, they don't. No, they
like,
don't. They know it's not
you know,
self-defense, but they're using the self-defense defense because they think they can, and the person that they are claiming
you
that
think s
against isn't
mm,
here to say otherwise. No, no, they know what they're doing.
you think so?
100%.
Because, like, they just think it's just like, "Blah, blah, you kill," but
No, no,
you
it's
have to
not
have, some
because
type of
no,
threat. You have
no,
to have some
it's
type of threat that's against.
yes, you have to have a threat against you in order to
Yeah,
claim self-defense,
yeah.
but they think that they're some sort of threat. Or they're just using that as an excuse.
Mhm,
They're just using it to form an alibi. That's all they're
mhm,
trying to do.
yeah,
They are fully aware. Like, listen, as much as we've kind of talked about it
mhm,
here and everything, and I think this is why it's so murky. Like, we're talking about the Menendez brothers. It's like they claim self-defense, which, so yeah, I'm only talking in traditional sense. I am
Mhm.
not talking about whether they thought their life was in danger or anything like that. I'm not talking about
Mhm.
that because those are only thoughts. Presently in that moment of when they went into that room and they killed their parents, there was no self-defense because their parents didn't do to them in that moment. So,
Mm.
in the traditional sense, there is no self-defense. You can't then go claim self-defense. Now, they didn't. I'm just using that as a example. They
Right.
straight up said they killed their parents, but they could have decided to come out and be like, "Oh, it was self-defense." From what? In that moment, there was no immediate threat
Mhm.
where
Mhm.
you had to go and use a shotgun to kill your parent. And again, even if there was a threat of violence brought upon them in that moment,
Mhm.
there wouldn't have been guns involved. So you then can't be claiming self-defense when you use a shotgun, but they didn't have a weapon. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So these people, like that case you just talked about, or the one I was just
Mhm.
talking about, they fully ass no, this is not self-defense, but they're gonna try and throw it out there. It's just like when they use the insanity defense. I was
Mhm.
insane, I wasn't right, and, I'm hearing people in my head. Like, that's you're not hearing anything in your head. You're just you're just not. That's it. No,
Voices,
it's
voices in
uh,
my head. Voices in my head told me to.
it's so stupid.
I'm not supposed to be laughing because it's
No, but
basically
and you
a
can laugh about those people because
yeah,
they're lying. It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
the Hillside Strength lures, well, not both of them, but the one,
Mhm.
I can't remember his name right now. It doesn't matter. But one of them tried to plead insanity.
Mhm.
And he was claiming that I think he was trying to say he was schizophrenic or
Mhm.
had um a split personality disorder, which I know is not the right term to use nowadays,
Yeah,
but he was trying to claim that.
a,
It was
a
all
lot. Yeah,
it was
a
not
lot.
true.
Yeah, a lot of people say mental health as well. So like
That's
that's
why
another
I'm
situation.
saying they use the insanity plea, which means
Yeah.
mental health.
Mhm.
And 9 times out of 10, they're perfectly sane.
Mm,
And it's but they use
I
it
do
because
think
they
so.
can.
I, I, I do think so.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that uses the self defense really correctly, and those are
Yeah.
the people that should be able to.
Hell, maybe this
Yes.
should be an episode talking about types of defenses and how much
Hmm.
that's
Hmm.
because I mean,
Yeah.
that's just
You get.
scratching the surface when it comes to
Yeah.
types of defenses that people
Yeah.
use.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, how about the gay panic defense? I, I don't think it's so much a thing today, but
Hmm.
at one point it was, where
Hmm.
people would use the gay fear tactic for their
Hmm.
defense, and it's
Hmm.
like,
Hmm.
okay. Like, I don't even understand how that was used. I don't understand people have gotten off on that.
Hmm.
People have been either, acquitted or had lesser sentences because of claiming the gay panic defense, and I will never understand.
In what way they have used that? Um,
So, for
separate all these.
example, we talked about Matthew Shepard on this episode on
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
podcast
Yeah. Yeah.
before.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So when his murderers were in court, they
Hmm.
were basically trying to claim, "Oh, well, he was gay and, like, he was
Oh,
coming
okay.
on to me, and that's why I killed
Right.
him."
Right.
But it's like, "Okay, wait, that's not true." And thank God, like, they got what was coming to them, but we talked
That's
about it, obviously, and it
uh
was, "No, you went in there, you seeked him out
uh
because you knew he was gay or thought at least he was,
mhm.
and you let him out with the thought that you were interested in him, and then you attacked him, and you left
Right.
him out there in the elements to die. Fuck them." Okay, I'm mad.
Mhm. Yeah. No,
I talk about Matthew Shepard, I get mad. So,
I didn't know using your sexuality was like some type of
mhm,
like
yep,
uh okay self
yep,
defense. Like
and it's fucked up. I don't think it's
does
something you can use today. I don't think that's something that
does
will
that
actually happen.
did that work before?
Yes, it did.
Oh wow.
Yes, it did.
Huh.
Isn't that
Interesting.
messed up?
And that's a
It's messed up.
threat?
Hmm?
That's a threat? That's a threat? Huh.
They would see it as a reason, justification for why someone was either
It's
attacked or killed
inter
or whatever. Yeah,
interesting.
it's
Wow.
ridiculous.
Wow.
Absolutely
No.
ridiculous
Hmm.
that that was actually a thing. It was used again, Matthew Shepard was killed in the 90s.
Uh-huh.
So that think about that. The 90s,
Mm-hmm.
we were alive.
Mm-hmm.
The thought that in my lifetime that was a defense that was used and could have been accepted is
Hmm.
ridiculous to me.
Wow.
But yes.
Wow. Yeah, I understand home invasions, weapons. What else is the other defense?
Yeah, but here's the thing too. It's funny because on this thing that
Uh,
says, you can protect yourself in that type of situation.
yeah,
But
yeah,
guess
yeah.
what? If you actually hurt someone who is in your home with the
Mhm,
purpose of burglarizing your home,
mhm,
that person who shouldn't have been in your home to begin with
mhm.
can go and sue you
That's
for
crazy.
their injuries. Like
Wow.
for anyone who watched Liar Liar, that whole scene with him and his law clerk, where she's giving the example of her friend who was sued by the burglar, that is true. That can
So
actually happen.
so that's only in Canada though, not in the States.
No, that's anywhere. I think you can do that anywhere. It's not about being in the States or in Canada or whatever. That can
Huh.
happen anywhere.
Because in some states,
You'd be
that's
stupid, mind you, but you could.
that's okay. Like if someone
Hmm.
comes in your home, some robber comes in
Someone
your
comes to
home,
their home and they get
pop
hurt
pop.
in your home. Yep.
You
But
don't
who
get
told you to come to my
exclusive.
home in the first place?
But it's a it's a robber or
It doesn't matter though,
some
because if you have like something out in your home that can hurt somebody and they don't know that they can get hurt, they come in, they get hurt, they can sue you. But it's like, first of all,
yeah,
I'm sure that doesn't actually happen. I hope the hell it doesn't. But I
yeah.
imagine there are some crazy people who have narcissistic type tendencies
Yeah, but
who would do that, who
how would
would
that
come and sue you, but who told
yeah,
you to be in my home?
how how would that work though? Like
Oh,
how
you
would
could
they get
lie.
money from
You could lie. You
yeah,
could
but
lie. It's easy in
it's
litigation.
like so it's like this is how the robber's gonna do it. So I accidentally
Hurt myself
went
while
to the wrong
robbing them.
yeah,
Yeah.
accidentally.
No, but
Uh
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Let me tell you something with litigation, because litigation is so easy because
mhm,
the burden of proof is so much lower
mhm,
than it is in criminal cases, right?
right.
It's so easy, and we see it all the time, not so much with home invasions, but if someone were to take someone's car,
Mhm,
potentially without their permission,
mhm,
and then they get into a car accident, what happens is that the person who got in the car accident is going to sue the owner of that car. May not
mm,
necessarily go for after the driver, especially if they don't know who the driver is.
right.
But you can claim I never gave consent to that person. And yes, you're going to have a consent issue
Mhm,
in this
mhm,
case,
mhm.
but that does not mean that that owner is out of being sued. Even though, and it's probably true, they did not give consent for the person to use their car.
Makes that makes no damn sense
It
because like
doesn't, but that is how it works. Like, we've
I
had
just
plenty of cases like that.
you did. Oh wow.
Hmm. We've had,
I
like,
feel
I
like that's
can't
a
say examples, but I'll
yeah,
say this so it
yeah,
makes a little more sense for
yeah, yeah,
people.
yeah, yeah.
Boyfriend took girlfriend's car, got into an accident, person who he got into the accident with sues the owner of the vehicle, which is the girlfriend.
Uh-huh.
Can't remember if that case they sued the boyfriend, but either way, the boyfriend was like evading. It didn't matter, like whatever. But even though the girlfriend claimed I did not give consent to him to use the vehicle,
Uh-huh.
now there's a consent issue where defense is concerned, but that does not mean that the person who got into the accident isn't going to be compensated by the owner of the vehicle's insurance, which is the girlfriend. So in that case, the
Hmm.
plaintiff still got compensation from our client who claimed consent was not given. Now, obviously from the client's insurance company, but either way, the insured, which we call them insureds to make more sense, the
Right.
insured is going to be affected either way because their
Mm-hmm.
premiums are going to go up,
Mm-hmm.
right? So yeah, that's how it happens, and that's just one case. You know, we've had other cases like that as well.
So, I feel like that's because like I don't hear that often in America as often. Like like
I'm sure
they
it
sue.
happens.
Huh.
I'm sure it happens.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah,
Because
especially
I
with I mean that's again the home invasion aspect of things.
mhm. Mhm.
Um, but and especially with consent issues with vehicles and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm sure it happens. It's probably just
Here
something you don't realize that
yeah.
until you're in it. Um, but yes, I'm
I
sure it
heard
happens.
because I heard like, there was a sheriff that said like, if a person comes into your household, you have the right to shoot them.
That also depends on the state
Yeah.
because some states, as we've talked about, have standard ground laws,
Yeah,
right?
that's a lot I was talking
So
about, yeah.
that's the difference if you have standard ground laws. But
Uh-huh.
it's more so if a person is in your home, you're not home, but they're in your home, they could potentially hurt themselves on something or like whatever. Maybe a
Mhm.
dog is in your home and they could hurt themselves with the dog is hurting them or something like that.
Mm,
Um, it can
right.
get very, very fishy. It can get real weird. But I have not encountered home invasion type situations.
Okay.
I don't think any reputable law firm would take that on. Maybe Diamond and Diamond, but don't get me started. But um, I do think that a reputable law firm most likely would not take a case on like that.
Right.
Um, but there's always there's other firms that will. There are
Mm,
firms that will take on those
interesting.
weird cases that make no sense.
Hmm.
So,
Okay. All right. All right.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, back to self-defense. So,
Mhm.
um, unlike the castle law in the US, Canada's criminal code allows the use of force only when it is deemed reasonable and proportionate. Quote, let's say the person starts to run away. Are you able to then pursue and stab this person repeatedly in the back? Absolutely not. That is no longer
Mhm.
self-defense. That's what I'm
Mhm.
saying. But she says there's a point where self-defense ends and possible criminal liability begins. We do anything that's reasonable or proportionate in the circumstance. You can't just get mad and there's no vigilante justice.
Right.
Schofield's comments come in at the wake of a home invasion in Lindsay, Ontario, that left an alleged intruder in. Here we go, left an
Mhm.
alleged intruder seriously injured and its resident facing criminal charges.
Mhm.
Eek. Jeremy McDonald has been charged with aggravated assault and assault with a weapon after police say he used a knife during a confrontation with Michael Kyle Breen inside
Mhm.
his apartment. God, he has three names. He's no good.
Mhm.
People with three names, stay away. Anyway,
Right.
Breen was airlifted to a Toronto hospital and is facing multiple charges, including breaking enter, theft, and possession of a weapon. There's also a warrant for his arrest at the time of the incident. The
Mhm.
case drew public attention after Ontario Premier Doug Ford criticized the charges against MacDonald, calling the situation an example of a broken system. He
Mhm.
said, quote, "This criminal that is wanted by the police breaks into this guy's house. This guy gives him a beating, and this guy gets charged. But it depends on the situation. Did he give him a beating or did he like pistol whip him? You know,
Mhm.
that's the difference. Like if he's coming at you with hands and then you're coming at him to pistol whip him,
Mhm.
it's a little bit. It's he'll probably have his charges dropped, most likely,
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
but still, like that's not good.
Right.
Um, so he was already in courts, but McDonald is scheduled to appear in court on September 25th.
Mhm.
Breen, meanwhile, remains in custody pending a bail hearing once he is released from hospital. Why are we releasing him? Clearly, okay. Clearly, this man has an issue. If he had a warrant for his arrest at
All
the
right.
time of the incident, this incident happens, and then you're going to let him out on bail. Clearly, he's not understanding that he can't keep doing this. So why are we going to release him? I have
Mhm.
questions. But anyways,
Mhm.
that's basically that. The
Yeah.
last one is this misinformation situation. So a woman is being sued for more than $500,000 after calling four others pretendants. We'll get to that. So a First Nations woman is being sued for calling four women pretendants, with the plaintiff seeking more than $500,000 in damages and retractions to the heavily publicized comments made about them. Michelle Christine Cameron, also known as Crystal Semaganis, who heads the Ghost Warrior Society, says she conducts research to safeguard community spaces designated for Indigenous peoples and says those pretending to be Indigenous pose a real harm to communities and nations. 100% I agree with you. But they don't go around
Mhm.
claiming the people who aren't pretending are pretending. Anyways,
Right.
in the lawsuit filed in July to the Supreme Court of Yukon, Amanda Buffalo, Krista Reed, Amaris Mand Mandersheed, I think, and their mother Louise Daroch says Semaganis conducted research into their backgrounds and concluded they are of Ukrainian heritage, not indigenous, and then engaged in a relentless social media campaign against them. Tina Yang, a lawyer with Goldblatt Partners, oh, okay, that's the one I recognize, said in an email that the plaintiffs believe the research conducted by Semaganis is insufficient and improper. Court
Mhm.
documents say she is accused of calling them grifters, liars, and racists who exploit their falsely claimed Indigenous heritage for personal gain. The four women, two of whom hold positions working with or for Indigenous communities, are collectively seeking more than $500,000 in damages, as well as public retractions to the statements made by Semiganis. The women, through their lawyer, declined to comment beyond what was contained in the statement of claim. Fair enough. The lawsuit against Semiganis says beginning in late October of 2024, Semiganis has engaged in a, quote, relentless libus campaign against the plaintiffs, and that they have endured significant harms to personal and professional reputations, serious psychological harms, loss of income, loss of academic opportunities, and a loss of business opportunities. It's a lot of claims she's going to be claiming for, or they will be claiming for, I should say. The lawsuit says Darach was adopted by a non-Indigenous couple and was informed later in life she has Indigenous heritage. But looking
Mhm.
into the family, something Samaganis said she does only after she receives about 10 complaints from the public. The court
Mhm.
document says Samaganis reached out to Buffalo for information about her heritage. Duroch later reached out to Samaganis and explained that she had been adopted and told she had Indigenous ancestry. Samaganis in turn presented her with research that concluded she is of Ukrainian descent and began broadcasting the information on her social media platforms, messaging the four women when women say is defamatory and want removed.
Mhm.
So I'll put my thoughts at the end. The Canadian press has not seen or verified any of her research. None of the claims in the lawsuit have been tested in court. Samagana says she has not yet been formally served, but has received letters from the women's lawyers to which she has not responded. Those are called notice letters. It doesn't matter. We don't really need you
Mhm.
to respond. Anyways, let me continue. Samagana, who did not want to comment on the details of this lawsuit, said it isn't the first time she has faced legal action. That says something. As a 60s scoop survivor, Samagana said those lawsuits don't deter her from doing what she does. If we are constantly bombarded by people with nefarious intent and with constant inauthentic inauthenticity that
Mhm.
comes with pretendism, then that puts our communities at risk. They're quite frankly gotten away with it for decades, and they've gotten quite comfortable in their stolen spaces, resources, and platforms. The 60s scoop refers to a period between 1951 and 1991 where Indigenous children were systematically removed from their homes and placed
Mhm.
under non Indigenous care, resulting in a loss of culture and community connections. Falsely claiming Indigenous identity makes it harder for us to come back because there's a lot of doubt in the communities now.
Mhm.
And she's referencing a number of high-profile cases that have seen the likes of Buffy
Mhm.
St. Marie and Mary Ellen Turpel Lafon's Indigenous
Mhm.
identities brought into question. Those cases cause ripples through Indigenous communities who are growing wary of claims. Some McGinnis said so-called pretendins use the 60s scoop trope to mask their inauthenticity and use it as a defense when questioned about which nation they come from and who claims them. While Sam McGinnis is confident in her abilities to research people's genealogy, she called her field uncharted territory where she and the collective she works with are learning as they go.
Yeah.
That's kind of problematic, though, if
Interesting.
you're claiming that what you're getting is accurate and
Mhm.
then going out there and defaming people,
Right.
then you should be able to make sure your research is ironclad.
Uh, people
That's
and their
what I
mis
think.
people and their misinformation. Like
But that's
I
what
just
I'm
don't understand. Like it just takes one Google search.
not
One
even so
Google
much
search.
in this case a Google search, right? It's a little bit more than a Google search.
Yeah.
But
Like books.
nonetheless, I know what you're saying. It's like make
Yeah.
sure you're getting the right information. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
you're saying you're doing genealogy testing, but you're
Uh-huh.
also saying that it's not like not necessarily accurate.
Yeah.
So then why are you then defaming people? Because at the end of the day, listen, do I think that these four women could be lying about their Indigenous status? No.
Uh-huh.
But do I think they could be ill informed? Yes. I do
Yes.
think that can happen.
Mhm.
But do I think they were doing that to with nefarious reasons? No.
Mhm.
So for this woman to go and defame people, that is the problem here.
Mhm.
And if you've had other cases on you for similar reasons,
Mhm.
then maybe you need to rethink yourself. Listen,
Mhm.
I do think that Indigenous people have a right to many things the rest of us do not.
Right.
So I understand all of that. But what I
Mhm.
also have issue with, and maybe this is going to be where bear with me here.
Mhm.
Do
Mhm.
I think that Indigenous people, some people, not all, can have this chip on their shoulder in a sense, um,
Mm.
and can come at people with such force?
Right.
Yes, and that is the problem. We're not all your enemies.
Mhm.
And just because these four women who potentially could have been ill-informed of
Mhm.
their heritage does not mean they are your enemy. They are not your enemy. They're just
Uh-huh.
ill-informed. Do
Yep.
what needs to be done so that that can be corrected, but don't come at people like that.
Mhm.
It's unfair. And I
Mhm.
think in that sense alone, their claim is most likely going to stand and isn't going to be dismissed or whatever.
Mhm.
So, because I just don't, I just, there's not everyone is going to do things nefariously. This woman kind of sucks, I can tell. Anyway, um, so she also said if she's presented with new information that contradicts her research, she acknowledges her error and informs community of the new developments. Doesn't change the fact that you still went about it like an so
Mhm.
doesn't change those things.
Yeah.
The federal government uses a two-generation standard for issuing Indian status cards. The Ghost Warrior Society has a broader standard for claiming Indigenous identity, which includes an Indigenous ancestor you can identify within four past generations. Um, Other Indigenous leaders have spoken out about the issue, while the federal government has largely remained silent, maybe for the best. Still, community members like Samaganis have been steadfast in their efforts despite public pushback. Every time a pretendant, she's still on this shit, gets removed from their stone spaces, then maybe 60 Scoop survivors or Indian residential school survivors or other people who were displaced and set aside for pretendants can step into those roles they should have had in the first place.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Which again, I agree with. I agree with. I do think I said there are people who are there for nefarious reasons, but whether you're there for nefarious reasons or not, I
Mhm.
do think you need to take your step back and allow that space for someone else who actually, can, who is Indigenous, but still doesn't give you the license to be a bitch.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
that's not, that's not
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think that's it for me.
Okay. I have
One
one
more?
more before we go.
Okay.
So, science. So, I just saw this article just this morning, and I thought it was uh kind of this is a good thing um for, bone healing in
Hmm.
general. So, Chinese scientists create bone glue that repairs fractures in just 3 minutes. So
Huh.
the glue can also be naturally absorbed by the body as the bone heals, eliminating the need for another surgery to remove implants.
Hmm.
So there's more here. So the Chinese researchers claim to have developed a medical bone glue that can be used to treat fractures and shatter bones fragments in just 3 minutes. The need for a bone ad what's it adhesive to repair fractures as well as to glue devices in place as long being considered a holy grail, but Chinese scientists appear to have cracked the code. The product dubbed Bone O2 bone glue was unveiled by a research team in East China. Uh, I'm going to pronounce their province,
It's okay. You don't have to
Jing
say the
province,
province.
on Wednesday. I'm going to put the article in the link or whatever, in the description. September 10th, according to Global Times. Uh, I, I just want to say his first name, Lin, the leader of the associate chief of Oak oh my god. O Orthopedic.
It said ortho?
Yeah, ortho.
Okay, ortho, like it's like PD or
Yeah,
ortho.
yeah, pedic,
Okay.
orthopedic, orthopedic
Yeah.
surgeon.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Uh, yeah, yeah.
Orthopedic.
Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Sorry, guys. orthopedic surgeon at Sir Run Run Shah Hospital, stated that he found inspiration to develop bone glue after observing oysters clinching firmly to a bridge underwater. Um,
Okay. It's
yeah,
not exactly a new thing that oysters do, but sure.
yeah. As the peer Lin can achieve precise fixation within 2 to 3 minutes, even in blood-rich environment. The glue can also be naturally absorbed by the body as the bone heals, eliminating the need for another surgery to remove implants. So basically, yeah, the Chinese have created a bone glue that will basically heal uh the bone if it breaks or fractures or yeah. I know a lot of athletes that like probably would need this as well.
I don't
Anytime
know,
that
man,
they're
if I
fractured.
trust it.
No, you don't think so?
I mean, maybe some people will, but I don't know if I trust it. I
I
feel
mean,
like
it looks
having something that does that within 3 minutes
yeah.
and like this thing you say it can be absorbed by the skin, but it's like I
Mhm.
don't know. I see lawsuits in the future if that actually were to hit the markets. I don't even know
They
if it's gonna
probably
be
did.
necessarily approved for the FDA.
I don't know. Maybe they
I
done
don't
some
know, man.
they ran some tests, like
Yeah, what
um
tests? That's about the part I wanna know. What are
let
your
me see.
tests? How
Let me
long have those
see.
tests been going for? What are the side effects? What no, I don't know, man. This doesn't feel
Yeah.
right.
You know? You don't
No.
think it's trustable? You don't think it's like a real thing or it's just like
I'm not
something
saying it's
fake?
not a
Let
real
me see.
thing. I'm saying, is it a safe thing? That's what
Hmm.
I'm saying. I need to know more
And the
details.
criteria were based on da, 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 da.
And even if this has been thoroughly tested, I don't know if the FDA is going to approve it.
Of course, they have to like look into it and do run some tests.
No,
It might take.
they will, but I don't but that
Mhm,
doesn't mean the FDA is gonna approve it.
mhm.
That does not necessarily mean that it's going to be
Yeah,
approved.
yeah. I don't know. It might not come to either touching America. Like how
And
they're
that's the thing
running
too,
things over
even if
there.
it makes it into let's say if
Yeah.
it does make it
Mhm.
into America, that does
Uh-huh.
not mean it's gonna make it in Canada, and I can tell you right now, that might never make it into Canada. We will probably
Possibly.
never see that
You never,
happen.
you never know. You never know.
There
Things,
are plenty
things.
of drugs that are approved in the States that are not
Uh-huh.
approved here. I know of one especially that because my grandma was looking at well, it's not her grandma,
Mhm,
but it was for
mhm.
her, and it was not accessible here in Canada, probably for good
Right.
reason. But,
Right.
yeah, it was, you know, accessible to people in the States. My
Hmm,
grandpa
hmm.
was gonna drive to New York in order to get it, but then
Right.
he couldn't get it,
Hmm.
um, and it was banned in Canada.
Interesting.
So it
Huh.
happens.
Huh. Huh. Well, we'll see
So
what happens.
I'm just saying I don't trust it, and I feel like there's gonna be
Hmm.
lawsuits. I feel like there will be lawsuits.
You think so?
Yes. How
You,
is this thing doing that? And not
I
even like
mean,
it's
like
doing it
maybe if they're doing
over a
surgery,
week.
maybe if they're doing surgery and then they just glue the bone together and it
I
just
don't
heals.
know. No.
I
No.
mean,
That's
we
even
have
worse. No.
technology nowadays, so like
Yeah, no. No.
you don't
No.
think so?
All I'm thinking about is that freaking doctor. I can't remember his name right now,
Uh-huh.
but
Uh-huh.
was fastening like different like the bones in your body or
Hmm,
whatever and
hmm,
was putting it into people, but
hmm.
really he was killing people. Like, no, no, this doesn't feel right.
Mm.
This feels like
I want to
it feels
be
like that type of situation.
I want to be optimistic and see what
Yeah,
happens
go ahead
with
and be
this in the
optimistic
future.
and see what happens to you. Go
I
ahead.
want to I want to see what if it goes through,
Go
clinical
ahead.
trials and then it just like,
Go
you
ahead.
know,
Go ahead. Go do
so
that. Let me know how that works for you.
uh, I know there's like more research on like, Twitter, like, but this is just an article that I found this on Twitter and then I just found the article. So like, uh, yeah, but yeah,
I don't
hopefully
know.
something happens. But
I
like,
just don't, I don't, I mean, yeah, I hear about athletes, but for
uh,
like the average
uh,
person
average person, yeah,
who, has a fracture,
uh,
God forbid you might have to be off your foot or whatever, let your foot heal for
mhm,
6 to 8 weeks
mhm,
while going
mhm,
to a fracture clinic. You know what I mean?
mhm,
Like,
mhm,
it's not the end of the world.
mhm.
I don't see why you need to have essentially gorilla glue on your fracture. Like, it's just,
Well,
no,
bone glue. It's bone glue, not gorilla glue.
really.
But
It's essentially gorilla glue for your bones.
uh,
It's gonna be so
okay.
bad. No,
Okay,
people are dying. People are gonna die.
okay, okay.
No,
No, I don't know about that, but
I do.
we'll see what happens.
I
We'll
can
see what
predict.
happens. We're already in a pandemic with the states with their misinformation and the
Nah, I don't know,
situation.
man.
Yeah,
This doesn't feel right.
and Canada is
This
doing well. They're silent with their scientists, but America's a different story with their situation with their
I,
uh
mm-mm. I
yeah
just
with
feels
RFK
weird.
spreading misinformation
No,
everywhere.
this feels
But
weird.
um
My guts are usually right, and my gut's telling me this feels weird.
yeah.
So no,
Uh,
no thanks.
okay. Yeah, that's it for me. Obviously I want to talk about something else, but like we'll leave that to another episode.
We just did 5 topics.
I know. We did 5 topics. I know. But yeah, there's one topic I wanted to talk about, but we talked about too much today. Uh okay. So this ends 142 episode 142 of the Next Tape podcast. The Next Tape podcast is available now on all podcast platforms. We also have a website called Tanika,
Next take podcast.podpage.io.
and you can contact us in our email.
And we
Oh,
forgot
sorry,
Facebook and
my
Instagram at
bad,
Next Tape Podcast
my
and
bad, guys.
Twitter, TikTok, and Blue Sky at Next Tape Pod. And then there's the email.
Okay. And you can contact us in our email. I'm mikeltanika@gmail.com. That's mikeltanika@gmail.com. So yeah, we talked about 5 topics. I think yoga, the yoga thing,
We talked about
between
Gorilla Glue for bones. We
that too.
we talked
Gorilla
about
glue. Yeah.
self-defense. We talked about that
Uh-huh.
Bitcoin heist. And then
Bitcoin
we
heist, yeah.
talked about the
Yep.
lady who is spreading a misinformation potentially
Mm-hmm.
about
Mm-hmm.
4 Indigenous women. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Uh for the women out there, don't listen to the United States administration right there out there. I know this is off topic, but don't listen to them. Don't
do you
listen to
think they
them.
are?
Yeah,
Who's
yeah,
listening?
well, yeah, don't listen to them. Those. That's for another topic for another episode. I'm still thinking about that. What it's unbelievable. What
What? What's? Am
that
I missing
minister?
something?
Yes, we talked about this before,
We
and we're
did.
going to talk about it in another episode.
Okay.
The Tylenol in this.
Oh fuck!
It's just, oh my god!
It's not the women.
No,
It's
well, it's big.
autism.
Uh,
He's
that and the
linking it to
pregnant, it's pregnant.
autism.
And okay, we had to talk about
We'll
this in
talk
the
about it later.
episode.
We're talking about it
Yeah,
in
uh,
the bonus episode, which I think is coming out
yeah,
on Wednesday. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I'm just gonna say RFK and the United States administration because we talked about that the orange pumpkin so much times on this podcast. It's ridiculous. I
That's
don't
the
want to
new
even
one.
say his name. Yeah, so like
Uh,
there's RFK and the
RFK,
United
yeah,
States
RFK Jr.
administration, the White House. This is called the White House. Blah blah blah. But yeah, anyways, I I'm just
Let's
gonna
wrap
move
up.
on. Okay, so I'm Mikel, and
And I'm Tanyka.
we're out until
Wednesday.
all right. Peace, guys.
Bye.